pas de soleil, pas de soleil, pas de soleil.
Hey guys, it's Winterwolf and welcome back to my channel. Today we are building a cute little Suburban. It's base game only and it's located in Willow Creek on the Brindle Rose lot. I was so psyched to do a base game only home because I haven't done base game builds very often, and the new swatches just came out and I was like, okay, well, let's build a base game only home and hopefully at some point end up using the newer swatches. I didn't like double check to make sure I did, but I know I did. I mean, I can tell a little bit. So I definitely used some of the new swatches. I didn't go crazy making sure all of them were new swatches, but you know, I just wanted to make a cute build. So I was like, we're going to build this cute little Suburban and it's going to be like decently affordable and super nice. But needless to say, knowing me, this house is not easily affordable. It ended up being 55,000 simoleons. 55,000 simoleons for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. How did it end up being 55,000 simoleons? I could not tell you. I even used the cheap counters and still 55,000 simoleons. How did that happen? I don't know. I really, like, it's not like I was planning. I didn't budget or anything, but I was like, I don't really need to be that careful because it's a base game home and it's tiny. Like, how expensive can you really make such a small, tiny base game home? Apparently, you can make one that's worth 55,000 simoleons. How? I don't know, but here we are. So I don't really know where I lost the budget. I kind of just played around with this house. I didn't have a picture to look at. Usually I look at some sort of reference picture when building like Suburbans, because for some reason I just don't have that intuition when it comes to Suburban builds. When it comes to modern builds, I have some intuition, and futuristic builds even I have some intuition, or like farmhouses I have intuition, but like just normal kind of basic Suburbans not so much. So this was really fun and I'm kind of shocked that I managed to pull it without any sort of reference picture. Like usually I don't copy reference pictures at all, but I still have one just to kind of, maybe there's a layout that I like, or I kind of like the way the front or exterior looks, so I kind of start there, but then everything else is different. But this time, no, just me building. So that was really cool. And yeah, I ended up going back and forth a lot, so I did delete quite a bit of footage. So yeah, I was just like showing swatches off like crazy. If you guys don't know, I built this on stream on Twitch, and I do stream on Twitch. And if you guys want to check that out, you can get the link in my description box. Anyways, so I was showing off all these swatches like crazy on Twitch, and so I ended up deleting a lot of footage. It's just like the simple story. But can I just say, I did not expect them to go back and actually change swatches. I'm kind of shocked that they did, and to be honest, I did not realize how big of an impact that made on build stuff, because like I complain about swatches not matching, but not in a like serious way. Like it doesn't bother me that my wood swatches don't match, because I actually like mismatching wood tones. Really the only swatches that do ever bother me that are wood tones are Tiny Living's wood swatches, but other than that, like, so wood swatches have never been that serious of a complaint for me. Like it's annoying, but like it doesn't even bother me that much. Like it's not even annoying. It's just kind of a thing, and I like mismatching wood tones, so it never bothered me that much anyways. So this update, at first I was like, oh, I guess that's kind of cool. Like they've done all this, and I was super excited for like 5 seconds, and then this excitement weared down, and now the excitement is back. Like I didn't realize how much of an impact new swatches made. Also, these cheap base game counters are like my favorite thing in the entire world now. They're just so cool and like simple, and they look gorgeous because of the new swatches. They don't even look cheap to me anymore. Like this swatch that they have, this brown swatch, I'm in love with, thoroughly in love with. I will be using this in all of my builds, even in mansions from now on, because of how much I love this swatch. It is so pretty, and we have, and oh my god, the cabinets. Just looking back at this footage, I'm like, oh my god, I loved this kitchen, and I love the way the new swatches look. They don't even look like cheap counters if you use the newer swatches. So this was just really exciting. It makes such a difference seeing these like new kitchen swatches. Oh my god, they're so gorgeous, and they have a nice, just completely white one. It's amazing. Like I'm in love, right? Just like looking at this kitchen makes me all excited all over again. I really like the swatches they've added for this kitchen, and this like really cheap thing that doesn't even look that cheap anymore. Like I look at this and I'm like, that looks like a decent countertop. Like some of the original swatches, they kind of looked kind of, you know, gross and maybe a little bit worn down and kind of cheap, but these swatches, these new swatches they've added, look amazing. And because we have so little just like simple counters, I expect that these are going to become one of the most popular counters for people who like building modern homes now, or just like simple contemporary kitchens, because we just don't have that in the game except for Dream Home Decorator. Dream Home Decorator does have a lot of simple cabinets. So yeah, I was really psyched. It's like incredibly psyched to see that. And it's just made my day. Like my days are made again. Like right now, seeing that made me so happy. So I didn't know how big of a change swatches would mean, but like I'm really happy they did that. And I really hope they go back in and add swatches in the future as well. There's definitely, I was complaining about this on Twitch. The next thing they need to add swatches to are beds. And I know that Little Simsy mentioned this, and I wholeheartedly agree with her, because the base game beds are really nice, but we don't have a lot of simple beds in the game, and the ones we do have, I feel like we tend to use a lot, like over and over again, especially if we're doing base game builds, or if you're limited to using only base game or base game in a couple of packs. So I really hope that they go and add in some new bed swatches at some point, because it just gets really tiring, and like the bed is like a focal point, you know? It's a focal point of the bedroom. So like to have such limited options, then you end up doing the same color schemes over and over and over again, and it gets a little bit boring. So I really hope they add new swatches to the bed frames and stuff. I really want them to do, I think they did add new swatch. I'm not entirely sure if they added new swatches to any of the beds. I feel like they must have, but I don't think they did, and if they did, then they need to add more. Because I just really like the beds. I love them so much, but then I see the swatches and I'm like, oh, that's not going to work, or oh, this isn't going to work, so then I never end up using them. That's why I like the Eco Lifestyle beds a lot and the Dream Home Decorator beds, because they're just like simple and they have nice, calm swatches, and a lot of the base game ones don't. Also, this couch, my favorite couch in the entire game, no new swatches. I'm not complaining. I'm just stating it, because that is like, I think probably the best couch we have in the game. I really hope that in more packs they end up adding like these nice, simple, cozy looking couches. Not these ones, but the one I just showed you that didn't get new swatches, because that's like, it's just such a like a very stereotypical couch to have. Like everyone has a couch that looks like that. I have a couch that looks like that, except for it's green. So I really want them to add more swatches to that, or just make another couch entirely, because it's an amazing couch. But yeah, so that's my rant. I'm so happy they added new swatches. I think it's really, really useful, and I didn't even realize how useful it would be. So I struggled a lot with this living room. As you can see, to be entirely honest, I struggled with the entire build, just because I didn't really know what I was going for. Like, I didn't know the aesthetic I was trying to pull off, and eventually I was like, okay, we use this dark brick, we've got this gray exterior, maybe this is like a little bit like contemporary suburban, basic suburban. So I ended up doing this really like, and I ended up doing this like really dark aesthetic, like dark gray walls, kind of like yellow. I have this yellow toned wall that I use as well. It's like, I think it's like brownish, like kind of tan, but I just thought it looked nice and it was simple, and so I went with a lot of neutrals. And in my opinion, this house looks a little bit more masculine than feminine, stereotypically at least. So yeah, I don't know how I ended up doing that or why. It's just that I struggled so much with a color scheme that I was like, you know what, let's just go for neutrals, and here we are doing some neutrals. I also didn't really like the floor plan that much at the time. Now I'm like more okay with it as I look, because it was just, there were a lot of weird little nooks everywhere, and it's super small, and I really wanted to fit a second bedroom, so the fact that I couldn't made me really, really sad, but that's okay. I've accepted the sadness that I couldn't add a second bedroom into this home. Also, they added a bunch of new swatches for flowers on the exterior. I'll talk about that at the end, but I'm just so happy they did that. I have been begging that they add new landscaping. I still hope they add new landscaping, like actual new items, not just new swatches, because there's a lot of diversity in landscaping when it comes to flowers, And I feel like we don't have that many natural looking flower bushes. We have a lot of like sculpted, perfectly spherical flower bushes. But I just want more variety in the types of flowers. Like, why can't we have little snapdragons and poppies? And like, it would be so cool if they had like a nice gardening pack that had nicer swatches. I don't know why there's such awkward pauses in this video. I didn't notice that, and I'm not going to go back in and delete it because then I'll have to change the voiceover. So I'm sorry if that bothers you, but hopefully listening to me rant is distracting you from any weird sort of pause happening in the video. But yeah, so I really hope that it would be really nice actually if we got a kit on that. Like, I would be down for a landscaping kit, just like a kit of nice new flowers, like actual flowers in real life, not just random flowers that they've just kind of made up, but like snapdragons and poppies and cute little rose bushes. I mean, we already have rose bushes. Or daffodils. We should have daffodils. Like, that would just be so cute if they added like a gardening kit. I don't know if you would really call it a gardening kit, like a flower kit, I guess. I don't know, bushes kit. I don't know what you would refer to it as, but I really hope they add that. So yeah, this house does have a really, really small backyard, and I was very troubled on what to do with this weird L-shaped backyard, because for me, it's like, what do adults do with a backyard? This obviously is for an adult. There's no kids. There's only one bedroom. So I was like, I don't really know what to do here because I don't have any kids. And usually in a backyard, I'll like put a swing set or some jungle gym or, monkey bars. But that's not the case for this because there's no kid. So I ended up putting a couple of gardening plots, which of course are very stereotypical to add. And that's basically it. There's a little barbecue on the porch and a sitting area to eat. And there's some trash bins. And there's that awkward L shape that I really did nothing except add some flowers and plants to. So yeah, other than that, there's not that much in the backyard. There's also no way to enter the backyard except from going through the house. So I didn't add an exterior door in the fence or anything. So sorry about that. Just kind of forgot. And then I didn't have the space to add a pathway to it anyway. So I was like, whatever, it's fine. How many people actually go from, I don't know, like Sims will route whatever way they route anyways. It doesn't really matter. So yeah. Anyways, I really like how this build turned out. I did not expect to like it as much as I did, especially given the fact that it's like such a basic looking home, but it turned out really cute. Like, this looks like a decent Suburban. I just wish it was cheaper. I honestly don't know how it ended up being 55,000 simoleons. Like, I would not have expected that. I think it's just probably the paintings I've chosen sort of add up, and then obviously with decor and all that kind of stuff, it gets kind of iffy. But I don't know. I didn't decorate this house that much to expect it to be 55,000 simoleons. Like, I've made bigger homes worth 60k that looked a lot nicer than this one. Not to say this is a bad build, but it's just like not my most cluttered or my most detailed build of all time. So yeah, I also built this yesterday. Yesterday I wanted to play, what is it called? Planet Zoo? Animal Planet? I think it's called Planet Zoo. I wanted to play Planet Zoo yesterday on stream, but then I was like, oh my god, I need a YouTube video for tomorrow, which is today if you're watching this. So I was like, I need a YouTube video, so let's build. And I like begrudgingly started building. So I didn't think I didn't have the inspiration to build that much. I didn't really want to. I wanted to play Planet Zoo. And then I realized that I actually already have footage for a video today that I'm now pushing to Tuesday because I forgot that it existed. I built this super cool, like, little tiny home. I don't remember. I think it qualifies as a tier 3 or tier 2. But anyways, it was super cute, and I can't wait for you guys to see that one. It also has a very neutral color scheme. Apparently neutrals are just my favorite thing in the entire world right now. I don't know. I really like dark aesthetics. Like, not goth aesthetics, but, like, dark neutrals, and like sort of like if you think of like a stereotypical like quote unquote man cave, I kind of really like those aesthetics. So I think I've kind of been pulling a little bit of that, and that's why I'm kind of happy I did this build, because I feel like I build a lot of really like stereotypically feminine builds. I use a lot of light stuff. I use a lot of pinks, which of course are not gendered, but just stereotypically speaking, I'm gonna say more feminine. And so it's kind of nice that I kind of did this more neutral build that's maybe a little bit less of the aesthetic that I usually do, if that makes sense. So yeah, this was fun. And yeah, I'm like running out of things to say, but the video's ending anyway. So I hope you guys liked this video. You're about to get into screenshots. As always, if you did like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like me, hit the subscribe button. And if you really like me, be notified every single time I post a video, go ahead and hit that bell button. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you next time.
Pas de soleil, pas de soleil, pas de soleil. Pas de soleil, pas de soleil.